Hello,
Happy
welcome.
holidays!
Welcome to the after show.
Welcome to the after show. So I'm
What-
sure you all have things you want to mention. What's the puppy's name, by the way?
This is Henry.
Oh, Henry!
Henry likes sitting on my lap and also eating my food and nothing else.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
I love him dearly.
So I guess first I'll let you guys kind of vent, and then we'll get into questions from chat.
we also got to tell the history of Santa RPG as well. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, go for it. What questions
we-
do you have or anything?
We'll start with questions.
Why were you opening all the stable gates?
So that's because Lightning isn't on the A team of reindeer. I believe he's currently in the lower end of the B team.
Yeah.
But if the time comes to deliver all the presents, and oh no, there's so many reindeer are missing, they might have to use the B team, and then Dazzle gets to pull the sleigh. And really, that's entirely what Dazzle cares about. He just wants to pull the sleigh. And like riding in the sleigh would also be cool, but pulling the sleigh is the most important thing to him. So that's always what takes precedence.
That explains so much.
Mm-hmm.
And you are the first character, Pine Tree, that Dazzle has actually like shown his true form to. There's no other players that know.
It's always been a complete secret up till now.
Now Pine Tree knows, and you know the fact that Pine Tree's a prince. I cannot believe I rolled that.
Yeah. And it kind of makes sense because you're able to like teleport into a different scene, which is like, it's great that like Father Time and Mother Nature are your mom and dad. It just works out.
Yeah, the moment that happened, I was like, okay, how am I going to, what does this look like? So for Mother Nature, it wasn't going to be, like sometimes the plants grow by themselves, but it wasn't going to be anything affecting the actual gameplay. But once I rolled that, like, that skill, the trespass skills, like, yes, that explains so much.
Yeah. It's good.
What is Santa gonna do with our gifts?
He's gonna give them to all the kids, all the boys and girls.
Oh. See, but I thought he was gonna like rate them and give us like a rating, or is he making mental notes about our skill sets? And
He's basically like personally checking the presents this year. And normally what happens with wrapping and creating presents is like the elves don't get a lot of creative freedom in it, right? It's like you're in a station and you get presents. This year he wanted to like they're trying to up the morale of the elves because last year was a doozy. And there was a lot of lost elves.
Incidents.
Yeah, so they're trying to they're like, how can we get the morale up? And everyone's like, oh, we'll let all the elves make something a custom present of their own. So like they feel like it was really just a HR ploy.
that's the best. HR in the North Pole. You don't think about it, but it would be there. I would feel like.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing when there's a rebellion going on. The North Coalition is made of like disenfranchised elves who want to overthrow the oppressive system. So they've got to throw a couple bones or candy canes to the elves to keep them happy, I guess.
Yeah.
I do like how a bunch of the chat was just like, you must overthrow the oppressive system. Santa is evil. He represents an oppressive class structure. You must bring it down. It's the whole time.
It's so good.
Basically, chat's the North Coalition. Just the whole of
Yeah.
chat.
You know what? That's a good idea. Maybe next year I'll incorporate some
Oh, no, what have I done?
like we'll have a North Coalition legend, or not legend, but behind the scenes chat, and we'll have a little bit more to it maybe. We'll add.
As they grow
We'll add a little
stronger,
extra.
greater in number and influence.
Kind of how we did the last ditch. We had like what do you call it? The rear guard. We can do
Oh no.
some stuff with them.
Do I need to make an RP room for Santa RPG?
Probably.
Throughout the year, just keep the Christmas spirit up all year long, 365 days. baby.
Look, you've been in.
You're muted, London, if you're talking.
London hasn't said anything this whole time, but he's been thinking he has.
Oh no.
We're not trolling this time. It's for reals.
It's okay.
Now I am speechless.
It's okay. I know the feel. There was one time years ago where I was accidentally muted for 20 to 40 minutes of a session.
Oh no. When was that?
It was before you even joined. Actually, it was the
okay.
Original D&D campaign. It was just.
So I was like, I don't remember that.
And I just didn't notice. The funny
Wow.
thing was, there was one conversation where I was responding, and then at the same time, they were having the same idea as I was having, and were saying that, and I thought that they were repeating what I was saying, so I thought I was in the conversation. It went along. It went for so long.
That's
And then they were
really
like,
funny.
Ben, has been quiet for a while. I'm like, we've been talking. Wait, what? Oh no.
Yeah.
It's
You
a
were
thing.
a part of the
been-
conversation.
It's been, yeah.
That's
long
too
running
funny.
My
thing.
goodness.
There's a little bit more than just Santa going on here. Obviously, you guys
Mm.
found out this year. So
I want to tell the history. Can I tell the history?
yeah, go for it.
It's my favorite part of Santa RPG at this point. Is just telling the cast what, like, all the other things that are going on in the background that you don't know about. So the first session was a different team, and one of the members of the team was called Ivana Kilzander. And that was where the North Coalition idea came out of. They were an escapee from the Colag, where they send the naughty elves to mine the coal for the bad kids. And their
Colag.
mission was to kill Santa. So they were making various distractions in order to create a bomb that they could use to kill Santa.
It's a bobble
they-
bomb.
Yeah, they caused a fire at one point for part of this distraction. While this was all going on, they made a bobble bomb to kill Santa with, and they were trying, I believe, to plant it on the sleigh so it would go off Christmas night and, you know, kill Santa and you know, send him crashing to the ground, and just a very effective assassination plot.
It did
But-
kill a lot of reindeers.
Yes, so the rest of the team discovered this and were trying to stop it. And at one point, Dazzle in the sleigh garage got hold of the bauble bomb, and he had an idea, and he threw it into the next room, which was the stables. Because up till that point, Dazzle was on the C team, was fairly high up on the C team, and he may have semi-deliberately, kind of absolutely deliberately blown up, I believe, 3 reindeer with the bauble bomb, which got him onto the bottom end of the B team. And since then, he's been looking for more opportunities to eliminate more of the reindeer so that he can go higher in the ranking. And one day he'll be on the A team, and then he'll always get to pull the sleigh every Christmas. And that's why he's so careful about revealing the truth to any of the other elves, and was trying to avoid revealing it to Pine Tree, is because someone could put together the fact that Dazzle was the person that saved Santa by heroically throwing the bomb away, but oh no, some of the reindeer died. If they find out he is actually a reindeer, that would probably get him found out, and then it's curtains. So that's Dazzle's entire plan. Is every year he spends all of the time looking for opportunities to either get reindeer, like, temporarily or permanently out of the picture. So letting them out is like the easy strat of like, oh, they're just gonna run free, and as long as they don't get gathered in time, I'll be all that there's available.
Then what happened to the rest of B team? And Santa was
well,
using C team.
I think they
Because
were just
B
being
team
used
was
to search
helping
for
look-
A team.
Yeah, they were being
Oh, yeah.
they were being used. That's why I had Frosty on one of the B team
Gotcha.
reindeer.
There was something else as well in the first episode, which was that there was someone went to visit Mrs. Claus, and it was a very unsettling experience. There was weird vibes, and this is the first time we've not had
Uh-oh.
Mrs. Claus show up in an episode. So in
She
the-
could have potentially, but yeah.
In the second episode,
Curious.
was when there was some more investigations by a new group into Mrs. Claus, and they began to suspect that Mrs. Claus may in fact be a vampire, and they found an item of Mince Pie's uniform in Mrs. Claus's basement.
That's the rumor that you were hearing, Fizzwiz, but it was kind of like through telephone, so it kind of got not distributed properly. That's why Dazzle was like, "That's not where it was."
Yeah,
then
Mince
Fizz-
Pie went missing like around about the events of episode 1 or 2, so it was a long time ago, and information gets muddled. But this group found out that she was probably a vampire, and I believe they tried confronting her. Dazzle had already run away at this point and was off trying to find ways to make reindeer, get released or whatever. But the rest of the gang stayed, and later just kind of wandered out of the place with kind of blank looks on their faces and never really caused much trouble again. And then in the third episode, was when the North Coalition made their big move. When they did a triple-pronged strike. They released an army of walking gingerbread men to attack the elves. They kidnapped Santa, wrapped him up in tinsel and carried him away. And they also broke into the Snow Globe prison and released a key prisoner. And I believe the prisoner that was released was Rusty Cracklewarmth, who we suspect may also be a vampire. And after Santa got kidnapped, while the rest of the gang were dealing with the gingerbread army, Dazzle ran off to find Mrs. Claus, knowing that she had some kind of eldritch powers and would probably be able to rescue Santa. But for some reason, Mrs. Claus didn't really seem to care much about rescuing Santa, and instead cared more about taking the contingent of Nutcracker guards and heading over to the Snow Globe prison to check out what had happened there. And I don't actually know what happened to Santa, because he got kidnapped last time, and now he's back. But he
Is it
kind of,
just-
I don't know, there was a weird sound to his voice. I don't know if there's something going on there.
Chat caught on it too. They were like, there's something
yeah.
wrong with Santa.
He
I don't
sounded like
remember
Robo
him-
Santa.
I don't
Yeah, he
remember him
did.
sounding exactly like that before. I wonder if maybe Santa never got rescued. Maybe Mrs. Claus doesn't really care.
Oh no,
You don't know yet.
not Uncle Nick.
Those are questions you'll have to figure out yourself.
Also, I like how now people think that it's Krampus that did Mince Pie in. Thanks to Kings.
That was
Listen, you
pretty
know-
great.
You never know. It could be Krampus wandering the woods, snatching up elves.
No, that was great. The conspiracy conversation between the two elves.
I
was
made
like,
a bigger rumor also start. Like there's vampires and Krampus is now involved.
Oh yeah, that elf that you told that to is like, and now is like spreading that
Krampus
rumor
killed
too.
Mince Pie.
Krampus
Yeah.
Pass
could
it
be a
on.
vampire.
Krampus is down there like, one time I'm not to blame. No.
I know. This wasn't me.
Krampus is like, I just handle the naughty kids. What's happening? I loved Jolly's. I just love Jolly's whole deal. Like I love the fact that you rolled revenge of all things, and
For
yet
some reason.
so authentically like loving everything. It's so great.
That was like a switch I think they had in there. I wasn't sure where I was going to go with that, so I just tried to just take it, step by step, and I tried to work it in there, but
It would have been funny if you would have got like an army of robot bunnies to be your friend. That would have been cool.
I thought about trying that somehow. But,
Well, you tried, but your roll didn't go so successfully. So
was
it would have been cool.
Sometimes the rolls are against us.
And now
Were
the
the
Easter
robots
Bunny's
like
involved.
legit like going to Santa to murder Santa?
You're assuming so.
That's one of the
Yeah,
things.
I
Like
guess
halfway
so.
through the fight, I was like, "Are they bad bunnies? Like, are we just assuming that they're like bad?" And then I was like, "It's fine." But then I was actually wondering if they were, in fact, just gonna. You said they had sharp teeth and stuff, though.
Yes, they had sharp teeth.
Vampire-like teeth you did describe
Yeah.
at one point. Like, it always
Yeah.
seems to come back
It's
to
like
vampires.
specifically like the way that they're like not all of their teeth were sharp, just like the two at the top. kind of like.
How far do the vampires go? Because we got vampire Mrs. Claus. The North Coalition was rescuing a vampire, and Mrs. Claus seemed unhappy about that. And then maybe the Easter Bunny's making vampire robots. Like, how far is it? All vampires? The one common thread
maybe
here.
Dazzle's a vampire.
What else did you find that might give you some hints today?
A teleportation circle.
Mm-hmm.
Frosty's chocolate coins that look like they could have been stamps. Like he could
Yeah.
forge.
What were the symbols on them that you got?
One is the basket with the eggs.
Mhm.
One is a bunch of like several snowflake ones. So probably could be Mrs. Claus, Santa Claus. One though was like a jackal. One was a pumpkin.
Mhm.
Jack o' lantern is involved now.
The Halloween's also somehow involved. Like, what's this guy doing with a means to teleport to the other holiday lands?
No.
He's coordinating the secret communications. I think the North Coalition is allied with one of the other holidays, probably Easter, and is using that holiday as like that wherever Easter is based. I don't know if I guess Easter has a physical base of operations somewhere, but I think they're using that as a launching point for their invasions.
I'm not going to tell you either way.
I know.
We were told that the Easter Bunny has a secret place with bunnies the size of houses.
You do know that, yeah.
But they
Well,
do
I know
use
that. I
carrots
don't know
as
if I showed it.
currency.
And they use carrots as currency. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do we know why the Easter Bunny hates Santa so much?
You don't even know if the Easter Bunny hates Santa. You are assuming. You guys all just assumed that.
It could be.
But you don't know for a fact.
It could
But you
be
do.
that
I mean,
it's
you're correlating that probably because there's bunnies that,
Mhm.
or maybe come from the Easterlands, who are attacking Santa. So
Also
could
because
be a
of
vampire-
Pine Tree's own biases.
It could be a vampire takeover of the holidays, where like originally they were all working together and were all living in harmony, but now vampires are one by one taking down all the holiday leaders.
Silly Bentham, there are no vampires in Bossing Say.
Everyone's vampires. All the
Where are
conspiracy-
you from? For real, Pine Tree Sugar?
Chicago,
it's a good
Germany.
I don't
Chicago, Germany.
Chicago.
Chicago, Germany.
That's
One of like the
hilarious.
big things was like no matter I can't decide where Pine Tree would be born or where he would consider himself from other than the earth. So whenever people ask, it's just going to be wrong. And not even good wrong. He's not that cunning. Just a very different answer each time. Next time
I love
was
the
gonna
idea
suggest
that
it.
you never really were from anywhere. Like your
Mhm.
parents have been traveling forever. Because you're, and literally not even just places, like even the time that you come from is not probably from this time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
Like, the domain of your parents is all of Earth and all of time, so it makes sense that you don't have like an origin, location, or even age.
This is probably the most stable Christmas he has ever had.
Oh,
Oh,
oh no.
dude, he was a badass. He was like swinging from the thing, wrapping trees, ripping off rabbit heads. It was crazy. I was like, wow.
I have an athletics of 4. I am like strong and buff. It's pretty cool.
I had 2 zeros. I had a 0 in will and a 0 in athletics, and I think a 1 in luck. And then affection, skill, and cunning were my strong suits. But I'm not very good at anything physical. Or, I mean, what? So like will, I feel like I didn't get a chance to use it really because I mean, well, it has really bad. I have a 0 in it. But like, what is something that like, can you like in this system like earn points to level up these things over time?
Yes. If we were playing like a long form game, yes, you could level up. And you can also exchange once per session. You could exchange one of your skills, one of your attributes for candy canes and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then you can also basically spend candy cane to upgrade a skill. So let's say you have a 1 in skill and you want to put it up to a 2, you can spend candy canes to do that.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
I always forget
Yeah.
that's a thing until it's too late. I could be totally gaming the system. I come back every year, so I could just be like, 4s in everything.
It's true. It's true.
Mm.
If you were to get to a 0 in a skill, like to go below a 0, like a -1, you would instead take your take another skill and remove it, and then put the points into that. So it's yeah. You'll always have something.
We also, but you weren't the only one with 0s, Katie. London, you had 0s too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had 1 0. It was cunning. So whenever there was any sort of social thing, I was just like, no.
Well, it's more cunning's more like tricking. Social would be like affection.
Yeah.
It's bad enough for
But
me
cunning's
having
like more
too
like-
cunning and trying to pretend I'm not a reindeer.
It lasted for so long, for so many sessions.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have 2 cunning and I try to pretend not to be a prince.
It's true.
He's also got like a 1 in skill, which it explains so much.
Mm.
It's completely useless around the workshop.
We did have to roll our characters, and I thought it was funny. I rolled the same number, and so I got double trauma for my patient for Fizzwiz Giggle Magic. I said patient because I was thinking about how Dr. Thresher kind of mirrored some of the trauma, but I killed my
Yeah.
parents and I had sibling hate. So
Which made
Fizzwiz.
sense. Yeah.
It worked out weirdly. The only thing we were missing today was some tasers. That was the only thing.
Oh, I
There
had
was
some
some-
lights. I could have tased you.
Yeah, like you shorted out robots with water.
You
There
did.
was tasings, kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took you a while, but you got it
Yeah.
eventually.
This
I
is
like that you had to take someone else's tights too.
I felt bad because I was
He was
like,
like,
"You're
"Give
not
me your
doing it."
tights, and I won't tell him." I was like, "Oh my god, it's so good."
Fizwiz, I feel like when she's got a mission, she's relentless and probably a little too tenacious.
No, it was great. It was good. I loved all of it.
Do we want to list our special qualities, considering this is probably the only time we're going to be?
Yeah, if you
Fair
want
enough.
to, and then if people have questions in chat, I'll check those out while they're doing that.
London, do you want to go first?
Let's see. Taking a minute. Special qualities. Yes, so I'm an android, and I have a symbol, which was the snowflake on my belt.
I'm
That's it.
a prince, and we figured out why that was. And I had an incurable illness. So one thing that I think was kind of under the radar, every single time something would go terribly wrong, he would just slowly give up because he's incurable depression.
Oh,
That's why he cried sometimes without achieving stress explosion. He's just always very sad. He covers it with happy.
oh no.
I guess mine, I rolled 2 lovables, so I was extra lovable. I think I already told you my trauma. I came from a line of hereditary elves, which was fun because it just means that I could play into. I've been around. My family's been around for generations. So, yeah.
My special qualities. I was saying before the show, without revealing anything, that I have one special quality that is like the least impactful special quality you can have, and the other one is like the major central character thing, because one of them is shapeshifter reindeer, and the other one is I have awesome curly hair, which means if I lose my hat, I don't take a penalty because my hair makes up for it, which never comes
Which
up.
is handy because a hat is worth more points. You get
true.
-2 to all your rolls.
It's just funny
you're
that
missing
one
your
of them
hat.
is like the reason that my character comes back every time, and because he's trying to murder all the reindeer, and then the other one is just like his hair's cool.
I guess for Bentham, this might. I mean, you guys can all comment on it, but for Bentham, he got to experience the differences. Do you think the change in me having the option to give like a uniform damage versus like stress was a good addition change to
Yeah, I
it,
think that
or
works. Yeah, makes it into more of a mechanic. It is very, very rough when you lose a uniform item, though, because -1 before multipliers is horrific.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's also like really smart because that way you can prevent people from going into stress explosions. So you're not having a section where someone like Fizzwiz is just constantly asleep.
Yeah, my stress tolerance wasn't very high. You all had high spirit. I think I started with 5 and then I got 4 during the session, so I got to a 9. And honestly, that 9 was
This was
blessing.
the nicest merrymaking we've ever had. Usually when people are merrymaking, they're so mean to each other because they're trying to like take each other's candy canes and stress each other out.
I want to watch all of these now, like while I'm Christmas baking, just to see how different the groups are from year to year.
The rules
They're
changed
so
too
different
over the
every
time. Yeah. I think the rules for this one were much smoother. I changed kind of like the way that negatives work and how candy canes work so that which is similar to what was last year as well, but with some extra additional rules. But hopefully people felt like nothing was super unfair.
Yeah, it was much nicer this year because like taking out like having the baseline candy canes you always get is really nice because otherwise you could get people be like, you know, oh, I rolled a 30. Let's see how many candy canes I get. I'm rolling 3d6. I got 3 candy canes. That's 3 candy canes. And someone else is like, I rolled 12. I roll a d6. I get 6 candy canes. Yeah.
Yeah, it made
Now
it
you
feel
always get
unfair.
the baseline, which is nice.
I don't think I rolled once over the average candy. So the reason why I have seemingly a lot of candy canes, 35, is because we're not going by my rolls, we're going by the average. Which is good. It gives
Katie
me
was always
Rolls
above
rough,
her
yeah.
average.
Yeah, Katie was always rolling just a couple above the average, which helped. I mean, still won by like 15.
Jolly was like
Big
in
amount,
between,
yeah.
doing all right.
Yeah, but I had a head start, but then I fell behind really quickly. It took a while to build back up.
I didn't expect
Like there was a minute
to
where everyone was in
accumulate
the
that many.
30s and I was still at 11, and I'm like, it's fine. This isn't my mission anyway. Just don't think about it. I gotta go kill reindeer.
What were you saying,
It's-
Katie?
It's all good.
I didn't think I was going to get that many candy canes, but I was trying to suck up to Santa by bringing him hot cocoa.
No, you all were doing great moves. I was trying to remind you of how you could gain candy canes because it's your first year playing. So I did have a handout too that has like all the deets on it too. Hopefully that was helpful because sometimes you get caught up in the RP and you're like, wait, what's my point of being here?
I
So
was
those
sneaking
were all good.
a peek at that. I was like, how can I earn more candy canes?
Yeah.
I didn't think about going the ruthless route, and I think it would have been a much different show if we went the ruthless route of taking candy canes from each other.
Normally,
Like, you could have taken my present,
yeah, normally,
pine tree.
Normally,
It has
there's at
happened in
least-
the past.
Yeah, no, normally there's always at least one attempted present theft in like in the opening scene of a show. This was the first time that it was considered but wasn't actually done. Last time I think there's always been one, and there've been times where
Always.
several people have tried stealing the present. I think at one point 2 different people tried to steal the same present.
Yes.
Which is
It was it was definitely pretty hilarious. You guys were like the nicest people to each other. It was great. Everyone got suspicious of Dazzle though pretty quickly.
Yeah.
To be fair, you rolled poorly on all of your lies.
Cunning 2 and just rolling 1 on the dice every time. It's not
Yeah.
a good time.
That's rough.
I mean, if it wasn't
you
for
muted London.
I love the group hug we did that one time.
That was
Oh,
awesome.
It was
yeah.
really nice.
And the speech, I think the two combined really helped with like that's why I was like, well, you're definitely getting candy canes for the speech. And secondary, everybody hugging and stuff is definitely gonna set a mood for Santa when he's coming in.
Mhm.
That was good.
There's an interesting question here about how much lore was planned in session 1 and how much was added. over the year.
Yeah. So session 1, I have let's see. I have like 3 pages of notes. 4 pages of notes. Before I was going for doing this episode, I had 7 pages and now I have 9. So can't share with you all the details, but yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of NPCs. This year, you didn't meet a lot of the NPCs that you had met previous years. Frosty, you have Bentham's character had met before. He's been in, I think, even episode 1.
Mhm.
And so was the QA person and the one that was checking your presence checking you in early too. Those are all repeat NPCs. So a lot of the NPCs are similar to the ones that you guys have met in previous years. But there are lots of new ones. You finally have Rusty's name. It's the first time his name has come up like in the live show.
But it was mentioned at the end of last episode as like that was the name of the person that was broken out, but we didn't know anything about them. But suspected the vampire.
Yeah. And then Gorthor is asking, how's my character from last year doing? The one who turned out to be Rusty's son. You're good. That's all I'm gonna say. Doing great. Your dad is running the coal mines. It's fine.
Can I ask the big question?
Yeah, go for it.
Big question. What happened in that Legends game and how did it affect this one?
Oh. So the Legends game, they were actually all very good beings, except for one of them was like an evil necromancer elf. But I think most of them were like good. They all wanted to help Santa, or they were like family members, or they owed Santa. So Rusty had to get really creative on how he was getting them to help him. And I actually wasn't able to get both things done that I wanted to do. So only one thing actually happened, because I don't think I would be able to convince them to do the other thing, because they were too good of beans. So they really thought they were getting these presents for good purposes. So they went into the land where the Easter Bunny lives and brought back some prezzies.
Yeah, they did.
The perfect crime. They don't even know that they're delivering evil robots.
True.
So evil.
But I'm gonna say this, because it's Aftershow. One of them did fill out a form that has information. So there is someone that can get pinned, that can get this whole thing pinned on.
Oh.
That person knows who they are, and they're actually a good bean, and they're probably going to go to prison.
Oh no, they're gonna go to the Kolag.
Yeah. No, the Snow Globe prison.
Oh, not even.
Some people are too dangerous for the Kolag.
Yeah. Especially the ones that are bringing in, like, robot chocolate bunnies trying to murder Santa.
It's like, I didn't know, I'm innocent, please. And then they're gonna get converted by, like, fellow cellmates. Like, see how unfair the system is? That's what happens in the end. All the elves turn evil in the end.
We'll see what happens.
And, like, even they could convert Dazzle if they tried, because like all they need to do is be like, hey, you know how they're always talking about how Santa loves all the reindeer, but he always takes the same team out on the sleigh on Christmas Day? Not fair. An unfair system, more equal than others.
True, it's true.
That's how they get him. They'll do it one day. They'll convert him. Already, he's kind of indifferent to them. Like, he saw them doing some sneaky stuff. And he's like, I'm not going to say anything because chaos is a ladder.
We could do an Easter spinoff. There's potential. There's potential for an Easter spinoff and also a Halloween spinoff that has been portrayed here.
The alternate universe is expanding.
There's a couple other universes that are also involved in this, but currently those are the only ones that you have unlocked. I'll say that. I don't want to give them all away, so that's why I was like, I'm not going to give you all the coins yet and who all is involved yet.
That means you just have to tune in for the next episodes, folks.
Yeah. People are like, I just got more questions.
Keep watching.
The Santa Industrial
Sure.
Complex doesn't care about guilty or innocent so long as they're a scapegoat. Well, I think the problem is that there's like proof of what happened. So, from the perspective of paperwork, but We'll see. There may be some roles.
Waiting for it to be like everything changed when the Thanksgiving nation attacked.
I actually
Like
don't
more
have
holidays
Thanksgiving
in.
involved.
Oh.
Yeah. I can
No turkey
definitely
army.
vocalize that. No turkey
flooding
army.
flooding over
But-
the North Pole.
We could make it happen. Never say never.
Oh no. I mean, how many like significant figures are there now? Because we have somebody representing Halloween. We got the
Mhm.
Easter Bunny. We got Mr. Claus and Mrs. Claus. Now we got Mother Nature and Father Time. How many more like figures are there? Who's out there in the world? It's dead silence.
I mean, there's probably more that the Christmas side of it can expand. Like Krampus might be out there.
Well, someone brought Krampus into this universe.
My bad.
Krampus is here for good now. I'm gonna let you know Krampus wasn't, but now Krampus is.
Oh no, this is
Did it?
it's just when you invoke a holiday, it gets added to the reality.
There's a lot of holidays. I'm trying to think, like,
There's a lot of weird, obscure ones that. I don't
Yeah.
know about.
I think of Nightmare Before Christmas when he goes to the trees and there's like
Mm.
the different, like, the ones I can only think of is like Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like, what kind of thing is associated with that? A cherub?
Yeah, Cupid.
Cherubs,
Cupid's
Cupid,
just.
yep.
wasn't it? We did a Valentine's Day one shot once where we were cherubs,
Oh, that's adorable.
like going around. I mean, we weren't that adorable really, but you know, a little bit, and we were trying to like complete missions to make people fall in love with the thing.
Yeah, it was cute.
Maybe that universe will get meshed into this one.
That was really cute. The Cupid game. I want to
That-
play it again. It was so fun.
And that's only like the English speaking holidays. You got like tons of other holidays all across the world who have big figures. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like there's a lot of like the Grim Reaper could get involved, or like there's a Mexican deity called Santa Muerte who takes a big figure in Dia de los Muertos, I believe.
Mhm.
You never know. You never know. There's all sorts of stuff out there.
Yeah, you don't know what the pumpkin stuff holds because you haven't really seen much of that. That was a little teaser for next year.
I don't know who would actually be in charge of Halloween, because all I can think of is Jack Skellington. I don't think he's in this universe, but maybe
I mean,
maybe
Jack
it is actually just
O'Lantern
Nightmare
Summer
Before
Committee.
Christmas. We have the portals.
We have the portals.
We have the portals.
If you go through it and it's a tree.
I always loved that about that movie is like the tree world. I was like, that would be so cool to go there and you could just open up a door in a forest and then go to a world that's just
So
that
different.
holiday.
Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, for sure. The Chinese New Year stuff. That stuff is so pretty.
And now we can get attacked by giant dragons. Getting
Mhm.
worse by the minute.
What is this, Ascension? Next thing you
It's
know,
a-
a
it's-
golden.
It's the multiverse.
It's a multiverse.
The Santa RPG cinematic universe has been made.
Oh, it was made years ago.
Yeah, this has basically entirely happened because the first time we were just like, hey, let's do made RPG, but it's Santa, and then out of that, like we now have this whole universe, so we just keep going, see how far it goes, see if one day I can kill enough
what
reindeer.
happens. One day, Dazzle will make the team. One day.
That is if Santa
this
doesn't
year
get
is not
killed
it.
first, or has
That's
he
true.
already been killed?
Is Santa real?
But
this
that'd be
all a dream?
twist. We're just mental patients.
You're in some kind of weird simulation. It's fine.
Oh no, it's apocalypse world. None of my characters
Can't
are
wait
real.
till next year.
Oh man,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
pretty
now-
late, so we should probably let people go. I didn't realize how late it was.
Now you guys
was-
can enjoy
Oh.
watching the future years and people coming in oblivious. The only requirement for new cast members is they have no idea what the show's about.
And I had
So
no
if-
idea.
It was better for. It was great for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go binge the others.
Yeah.
There's definitely some good reveals, a lot of fun and madness. Every time the elves make their own madness, and then there's also like a thing they have to deal with, right? So, some of them were also awful to each other. So they just cause their own personal chaos. I'm just like, I'm trying to make a cohesive story.
all I want for one of these streams is just to literally be a one-on-one shot. It's just Maggie and Bentham going off.
Definitely do that.
Oh no, just my mission to kill all the reindeer. I will be the #1 reindeer, not just on the A team, I will be the A team.
I'll
So-
be the
so-
only reindeer.
So I just pulled up Made RPG. I mean,
Mhm.
not Made RPG, but this RPG from 2017. Your playthrough of it.
Yeah.
Dazzle, there is a reindeer right next to your name.
I think that was on purpose.
Yeah.
Conspiracy.
I didn't make the overlay, but somebody
I
did,
made
and
the
I think it
overlay.
was on purpose.
Now I
Just
yeah.
There was
I feel like-
foreshadowing, for sure.
Yeah, because the
No, it's
viewers didn't know I
foreshadowing.
was a reindeer till the end of that episode.
Wow.
It's great.
I love it. I love it.
All right, we'll
Yeah,
wrap it up
Valentine's
there.
Day was a Layla spinoff. It was different, but not to say that
Mm.
Valentine's Day stuff isn't incorporated in this multiverse. Maybe.
Dick Cupid.
We'll wrap up the after show there and the year for Roll For It. We'll see you next year with the Return of Ascension and the next thing that'll be following Avatar. So, thank you for watching. May the dice roll ever in your favor. Merry Christmas.